So much going on, and how lucky are we to have such a fantastic university in the city here that really supports what we do. So, talking of supporting what we do, I'd like to welcome Cllr Steve Pitt as the leader of our council, but also our Cabinet Member for Culture, Leisure and Economic Development at Portsmouth City Council. He has a long history in championing culturally led regeneration and advocating for the cultural and creative industries. One of the reasons for that, he was in that industry for a long time, right here in the city of Portsmouth. So I'd like to welcome, please, Cllr Steve Pitt.
Good morning, conference. Always fantastic to be here and see it so full and so much energy and activity in the room. It's quite inspiring, especially in January. I've got some slides today, which those of you who know me well know that I'm not great at, so I'll do my best. And I promise I'm going to share lots of positives with you today. But before I do, I know you will want to hear the latest developments on both devolution and local government reorganisation, two distinct but important pieces of work that I first outlined a year ago following the white paper that was published just before Christmas 2024. An awful lot has happened in the last 12 months. On devolution, which should and ultimately must be a huge positive for our region, we're all set to see the arrival of an elected mayor for Hampshire in the Solent in May this year, when shortly before Christmas, the Minister contacted the four leaders of Hampshire County Council, Southampton and Portsmouth City Councils and the Isle of Wight Council to inform us that the government were minded to postpone the mayoral elections until 2028. This was a complete shock to all of us. We were about to order the ballot papers for the election and we'd even picked the colour. We were ready. We are ready. We weren't asked if we wanted a delay. It has been forced upon us. Instead, we are being asked to go forward with what is called a county combined authority, which is the more sort of entry level of devolution. And there are significant consequences for our region if the government confirms the delay until 2028. Not because we need the mayor to start work, but because of the changes to our deal which come with that decision. Firstly, we were expecting to start receiving almost £45 million a year for 30 years to deliver real regeneration and growth for our region. And we are now offered just a third of that for the next 2 years, with no explanation as to why. We've just seen this week that our Growth Hub and Skills Bootcamp funding for the next year has been reduced in expectation of a mayor arriving in May, the former by 25% and the latter by 60%. It appears that one part of government is not talking to the other parts of government. So if we're to replace this funding cut, that will have to come out of that already massively reduced settlement funding. A third just got a lot less. And we also expect further reductions to follow. The mayor was bringing convening powers to accelerate regeneration and a seat at the government's Council of Nations and Regions, and that's all now on pause. In response, the four authorities have gone back to government to say, we are ready to proceed now, we don't want to lose another 2 years, and we want all of the funding, convening powers and that important seat on the national stage. Hampshire and the Solent deserve to be trusted to deliver for our businesses and our residents. On local government reorganisation, there is every indication that the government will proceed with pushing Portsmouth into a new unitary council with Fareham, Gosport and haven't, despite 82% of Portsmouth residents and the council saying no thank you. My letter to ministers at the end of September asking yet again for Portsmouth to be left out of local government reorganisation has not received a response. Instead, the government proceeded with its consultation on options, all of which involve Portsmouth City Council being abolished. I truly believe that this will not be in the best interests of our city. Why? Because despite ongoing pressures, Portsmouth will set a balanced budget again this year. We will invest in important local services and retain reserves to weather the tides. In contrast, independent work commissioned by KPMG on behalf of 12 of the 15 Hampshire councils shows that the new council that would be formed in South East Hampshire, that we would be a part of, will, as it stands today, face a £67 million black hole in its day-to-day spending on delivering services from day one. All of the work across different political administrations over 29 years that Portsmouth has been a unitary council to do everything we can to protect the services our residents value will be at serious risk. Whilst Westminster funding for local government is increasing, I acknowledge that, it is not keeping pace with the demands on statutory services. We cautiously await the new SEND white paper as the number of young people needing additional support is growing year on year on year, putting pressure on resources. The government has said, and you may have heard this figure being bandied about, that £16 million in new funding is coming to Portsmouth over the next few years. But let's be clear that nearly half of that is an assumption that the council will keep putting up council tax every year by the maximum 4.99%, and nearly a third of it was allocated last year. It's time for an honest dialogue nationally about the sustainability of local services, and councils of every political colour agree that whilst any new funding is always welcome, it must outstrip demand if we're to recover from 15 years of cuts and minimal growth. Local authorities deliver vital local services and know where the money needs to go to make a real difference. Government needs to work in partnership with us, not create the chaos of local government reorganisation, a plan not in its manifesto, nor with a shred of any credible evidence to demonstrate that it will deliver any positive outcomes. Last year was a very difficult year. As this continues to unfold, 2026 may be just as complex and challenging. However, despite all of this uncertainty, Portsmouth City Council continues to rack up success stories and deliver for our city. The Lib Dem Cabinet continue to work hard week in, week out to ensure that our children's and adult services deliver good quality provision for our most vulnerable residents. Our bus service improvement plan has attracted national awards and seen the single largest increase in bus use of any local authority in the country. And we're the only local authority on the whole of the south coast of England to be judged green by the government for roads maintenance. Everyone else is at least amber. Nature recovery and tackling climate change remain an important focus, with over £800,000 secured in grant funding to help turbocharge our work in this area. After a period of challenge, the planning team are now hitting all their targets again. We continue to invest in community safety measures to help keep our residents safe, and we are tantalisingly close, at last, to getting going on the new materials recovery facility in Eastleigh, the completion of which will mean we can finally deliver glass and plastics recycling to your doorsteps. Cllr Chris Atwell will be with us shortly to talk about the success and opportunities of our social impact policy work with local businesses, complementing the huge social impact that Shaping and the whole of the VCSE deliver for our city. And for that, I say thank you. What else did 2025 see? We've installed the UK's largest solar park in Canopy at Lakeside, 8,545 panels installed in total. We've just seen the end of the first year of operation for the King George V football complex, with operators Hampshire FA reporting a huge success story as all ages of both men and women access these best-in-class facilities. Hillsey Lido's regeneration is nearing completion, and it will open in the spring under the stewardship of the same team who so successfully run Sea Lanes in Brighton. The Theatre of the Sea, as we call it, which opened south of Southsea Castle, the latest section of the sea defence works to be completed, now features a poem written by the Poet Laureate installed along its wall to celebrate the Solent and its ever-changing views. The next phase between Blue Reef Aquarium and Hover Travel will open in the spring, and a new landmark sculpture, part funded by Arts Council England, will feature in the new area, which we are now naming Centenary Place. I will remind you, this is the largest publicly led sea defence scheme in the country. And the team delivering it for PCC now have, quite literally, a cabinet bursting with awards for the outstanding work they're doing to keep our city safe for the future, whilst also providing us with a world-class waterfront we can all enjoy, admire and be proud of. The Mountbatten Centre now has a brand new roof to future-proof it for the next generation, and works are just commencing to deliver the new swimming pools at Bransbury. Our hard-working economic growth and skills team have continued to support local businesses to survive, grow and thrive, as well as upskilling hundreds of local people. Our city centre pop-up in Cascades welcomed its 4th and 5th businesses, and we celebrate the success of former occupiers' SP collections in moving into a permanent unit in Cascades. This, along with the huge success of the Love Portsmouth pop-up at Gunwharf, which supported 33 regular traders and over 70 independent businesses, is real and meaningful support for our local entrepreneurs, helping them to avoid the risks of going it alone and building resilience into our small business community. Coupled with our success with our small business grant scheme, this council and all of our partners are committed to growing our own as a city. A shout out to all of our partners, including Shaping, who collaborate with the Council to deliver the Portsmouth Business Support Service, which continues to make a significant impact, supporting a huge number of local businesses. And it seems to be working. Thanks to all of us in Team Portsmouth, working so collaboratively, we now know that local employment rates have risen sharply from 74 to 80%. Outstripping the regional average and significantly above Southampton. Always worth a mention, isn't it? I can't avoid it. I'll try and get one in every year. Economic inactivity has fallen to 17%, outperforming the South East average, which stands at 19%. We opened a new enterprise centre at the northern end of Commercial Road in City Buildings, where we welcomed Shaping patrons Citrus, and I see Dan here today, Impress Printing, and the amazing youth and community team at Urbond, all of whom are going from strength to strength. Right next door, in Playlands, Portsmouth Create and Artswork have now launched a creative youth project for and by young people, and also hosted the annual Creatives Christmas Market, complementing the Taster Market for new traders on Commercial Road on Small Business Saturday. In March, we will go to ballot for a business improvement district for the city centre, which, if successful, will open up new possibilities for the council to partner with businesses to reinvigorate the area. Work is getting underway for a similar project now in Southsea. We promoted the City Centre North scheme, which has outlined planning consent for 2,300 new homes to national and international investors at MIPIM, Expo Real and UK Reef, supported by our partners at Business South. Portsmouth International Port, as you've already heard, continues to be the most successful council-owned port in the country, with the cruise business thriving and a new deal signed with our long-term partners and friends at Brittany Ferries, ensuring that as the port celebrates their 50th anniversary this year, the jobs they support, the freight and visitors that they bring, and the hard cash they contribute to local council services are secure. We will publish their latest economic impact report in Parliament later this month. Hot off the press, just this week, we have submitted as a conglomerate a bid to be part of the Op Valor work that the government is now promoting to support both serving personnel in our armed forces and veterans. That partnership, which includes the voluntary and community sector, and I know Ian Millen is here today, always nice to see you, Ian, is being led by them, but supported by Portsmouth, Fareham, Gosport, Havant, Eastleigh, Southampton and the Isle of Wight councils. And we are pretty confident of success. Now, those who know me know that culture is hugely important to me. It has the ability to drive aspiration and change futures. It brings communities together and it makes our city stronger. Since we began to invest UK Share Prosperity Fund money to match fund project grants bids from our city's creatives, applying that 10% match to back their bids has secured approaching £2 million in inward investment from Arts Council England in the last 2 years alone, alongside nearly £1 million from the National Lottery Heritage Fund. On one measure, Portsmouth has gone from 19th to 2nd for Arts Council project investment in our region, a success that we celebrate. Last year, our award-winning libraries and museums delivered a host of successful programmes, projects and exhibitions, including in partnership with other national and international partners and, of course, Portsmouth Creates. Their In Our Words year engaged with thousands of people, particularly our young people, and we are proud that they are spearheading our bid to be UK City of Culture in 2029. Following on from Portsmouth's success in hosting Cllr GP, the Ocean Race and the Clipper Race last year, along with being UK City of Pride, 2026 marks, as you've already heard, the centenary of Portsmouth's receiving city status, and we launched a year of celebrations on the 1st of January with the switch on of a new light installation at Southsea Castle, designed by Turner Prize nominee Nathan Coley, bringing light back to the lighthouse, and also launched our Portsmouth 100 film, which you will see at the end of today's conference, closing with some fireworks to end the event in style. There's a whole year of events planned, which will see festivals, exhibitions, concerts and commemorative activities within communities. Amongst the highlights will be the Pride of Portsmouth Sculpture Trail, and I know that Kelly Nash has fleeced quite a lot of you already, so thank you for that, and a special exhibition at Portsmouth Museum and Art Gallery, but venues, cultural and community groups across the city have answered the call to contribute and what will be an inspiring programme with something for everyone to engage with and enjoy. There's too much planned to detail here, but please do engage and let's all celebrate what makes Portsmouth such an amazing place to live and work and showcase the best of us to the millions of visitors who come here every year. Portsmouth is an incredible place. I believe it is a very special and unique island city where all our little villages combine to make a great waterfront city. As I said at the beginning, I believe we have some difficult waters to navigate in the months and years ahead, but we must not lose our Team Portsmouth spirit. We must continue to work together, council, business, voluntary and community sector and all of our communities to build a Portsmouth that is confident, forward-looking, progressive and determined. That is what will bring in new investment and see our economy thrive, and that is what Portsmouth City Council will stand shoulder to shoulder with all of you to deliver. Here's to an amazing centenary year and to our successful bid to become UK City of Culture. We deserve it. Thank you. Now, as I mentioned earlier, I'm going to hand you over to Cllr Chris Atwell, who will explain more about our social impact work and how you can be part of it.
Hello, good morning, everyone. Portsmouth City Council is committed to ensuring that social impact is more than just a policy. It is a promise to create a fairer, greener, and more resilient city. Social impact means ensuring that every pound spent delivers more than just a service. It delivers opportunity, inclusion, and long-term benefits for Portsmouth and the businesses and residents who work and live here. Since we published our social value policy in March 2021, we have worked through our procurement and partnership strategies to embed social impact into the very heart of our decision-making. Shaping Portsmouth is a key part of that work. Where possible, we work to ensure local businesses are being supported to grow, apprenticeships and training opportunities are being created, and we're prioritising suppliers who invest back into our city. I know that many of those businesses are in the room today, and I thank them for their commitment to Portsmouth. This approach strengthens our economy while opening doors for people who need them most. But our social impact approach goes beyond economics. It's about tackling inequality, improving well-being, and building sustainable communities. In 2025, social impact projects included the Green Roof programme, installing living roofs on council buildings to improve air quality and biodiversity. Solar Schools initiative, equipping local schools with solar panels, cutting energy costs and teaching students about renewable energy. Community tree planting, thousands of trees planted across Portsmouth to absorb carbon and create cooler, greener neighbourhoods. And thank you to those in the room involved in that project. Our electric fleet transition, moving council vehicles to electric power, reducing emissions and setting an example for others. And our Christmas presents appeal, ensuring hundreds of people received Christmas gifts, supporting the wonderful work of Haven Women's Group, Urbond, the Parenting Network, Buckland Soup Kitchen, Spark Community Space, and Seekers Create. We've also worked closely with voluntary and community organisations to ensure residents who need additional support receive it, whether that's through food security programmes, mental health services, or digital inclusion projects. The impact is clear. More local jobs, stronger community networks, and a city that cares for both its people and the planet. By embedding social impact into everything we do, Portsmouth City Council is not only meeting today's needs, but shaping a future where prosperity is shared and opportunities are available to all. So what's next? With a real focus on our young people, we have an event on the 5th of March, starting at 9:30 in the morning, finishing at lunchtime, at the Central Library here in Guildhall Square. This event will bring together our partners to further develop the support we offer for young people facing barriers to progression to education, employment and training. This includes young people with special educational needs and young people who are care experienced. The support employers have offered to date with supported internships and our Employability Academy have resulted in real impact with young people progressing to employment and training. Increasing numbers of young people are, however, not in education, employment or training. Young people in Portsmouth do not lack ambition, but they do need opportunities. And we want to not just celebrate all the support that many of you in this room are putting in place, but ensure that there are more opportunities for each and every young person in our city. If you want to attend, and I hope many of you will want to, please look out for the link in our business bulletin, and we will ask Shaping to share details on there in their updates. So do enjoy the rest of the conference, and thank you very much.